Episode 5, Talk of the Town 918. Got a big guest today. You see all the props up here. Got Mike Boynton from OSU, head basketball coach at OSU. Really appreciate you being here today. Really appreciate that. And I'm gonna let the people know my brother hit him up, and it wasn't no, maybe, yes, or it was a straight. When can we do it? Let's make it happen. And we really appreciate that.
We kind of went back and forth.
Yeah.
I'm like, man, that's my guy. I said,
For sure.
Where we come from, if he say no, he say no.
No doubt.
So I texted him. He was like, for sure, bro. We're going to make this happen. So, again, like he said it, I said, we really appreciate it.
Absolutely, man. Like, for me, it's one thing to talk it, right, about being about us. I really try to, you look around at what we do in Stillwater, our team, our staff. Like, it's really about helping empower each other. And, like, I couldn't even give it a second thought. Like,
Right, for sure.
my brother's over here doing something.
Yeah,
Yep, facts.
And I can support it. Why not? Besides, I like coming to Tulsa.
yeah, for sure.
You on the north till you good.
Yeah, you good. We good.
You good outdoors.
So we appreciate that, and everybody knows you. For the people in here, everybody around the world knows you as the head basketball coach. Let us know and let the people know about Mike Boynton off the court, where you come from, where you grew up from, and how you got to where you was at now.
Yeah, I tell people all the time, like, the game of basketball, it really gave me a chance at life. Like, I grew up in Brooklyn, New York.
Yes, sir.
And I wasn't in the gang banging or drug dealing, but I was around it all the time.
Mm-hmm.
And I was actually protected from it by the OGs.
Got you.
Because I had some talent, and they wanted to see me get out, right? I had my pops at home. That was a difference for me, you know what I mean? Because a lot of my homies didn't.
Right.
And I saw the way their path kind of led them, not having that foundation. So I felt blessed early that I had both parents at home, and being able to play sports gave me an outlet.
Right.
It gave me something to do to keep myself busy. And then I discovered, like, around 8, 9 years old, I was decent at it.
So you knew you were special at that
and
time.
then, you start getting recruited to high school. In fact, the first time I got recruited was in elementary school.
Wow.
And I got recruited to go to a basketball-dominant junior high team. I actually played with 7 guys on my 8th grade team who played professional basketball.
Wow. Who was it?
It's crazy. Kyle Cuff,
Okay.
who played at St. John's. Andre Barrett.
Oh, Andre,
played at
guard, Seton Hall.
the guard,
Yeah, he was tough.
All-American. Guy named Teddy Mumford. Kiki Clark, he went to St. Peter's before St. Peter's was this St. Peter's, right? But he led the nation in scoring for 2 years.
Okay.
Jason Wingate,
I remember that name.
Peter Mulligan.
Guard.
Yeah, he went to, I think he went to Iona.
I remember
No,
that
he went to
name.
Manhattan.
Manhattan. He was tough.
And he
they
used to
made
wear
it
the
run.
long shorts.
Yeah. So I was exposed to high-level competition all my life. And so that really is what drove me in everything I did. But I was around some goons, too.
Yeah, for sure.
The guys older than me in New York City at the time, Elton Brand, Ron Artest, Eric Barkley, and so you either had to get with it or move. Get out the way.
Yeah, for sure.
Kenny Satterfield was a year ahead of me. He went to Cincinnati, had a cup of coffee in the league. So I was around it at a high level for a long time. And it really helped me, get where I went. Ultimately, went to college at South Carolina. Played point guard there.
And who was your coach there?
So Eddie Fogler recruited me. He was an assistant coach at North Carolina under Dean Smith back in the 80s. He actually recruited MJ. Most people don't know that. Him and Roy Williams were assistant coaches at the time. And so he recruited MJ. He recruited me. He was from Queens. But he only coached me my freshman year. He retired after that. And Dave Odom came in from Wake Forest.
Yep.
He had Coach Duncan and Rodney Rogers and those guys there. And so I played for him for my sophomore, junior, senior year.
Gotcha.
And the Lord just kind of moved me around, man. I thought I was going to go do this basketball thing for years. Like,
Playing
I thought I was going to play forever. right? And I
Did
tell
you go
young guys-
anywhere after college?
No, so I had a contract offer in Belgium to go play, and literally I'm training in August to go, and I had my first injury ever. I'd never been injured playing basketball.
What was it?
Tore my meniscus.
Okay.
And so I had to really shut it down. Like I never played. I tell people all the time, I haven't played a meaningful game of basketball since my NCAA tournament game my senior year in college.
Got you. I got you.
So I transitioned. I went home actually for a little while after that. I was in New York training when I got hurt. Went back to Columbia, and I really just sat around for a week feeling sorry for myself. Like why? Why me? Why does that?
Exactly.
You know what?
Exactly. And nothing
That's all
ever
I
happened
wanted
to me
do,
when I
man.
was. Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
And Coach Fogler called me one day out the blue and was like, "Hey, just checking on you. How you doing?" I'm like, I'm kind of down right now. He said, "What are you doing?" I said, "Nothing." He was like, "Whoa, what you mean nothing? You got a degree. You're an intelligent dude. You need to get off your butt, do something."
Exactly.
But I always had people like that who told me the truth,
I got
even
you.
in times where I didn't
Didn't
really
wanna
want to
hear
hear it, man.
Yeah.
Like I didn't want to hear that from him.
Yeah, tell me I want to go.
You tell kids now these days the truth, they shut down on
Yeah,
you.
yeah.
Shut down on you. But you actually need that.
But he said, I always thought you could do good if you tried your hand at coaching. And I'm thinking to myself, man, I'm 22 years old.
Right.
I got to give up the game already? You just telling me to go coach?
Got you.
Nah, I ain't doing that.
Yeah.
I fought it for a minute. And then the next week I had to meet with Coach Oldham. He told me the same thing. I'm like, these two dudes obviously care about me.
Could they tell the way you played the game like
So,
they?
Yeah, I was always more of a cerebral kind of player anyway. You know what I mean? I always kind of was a leader for the teams I played on. And I didn't rely on athleticism. I could shoot, I could pass, I could defend. I understood the game, I studied it. And so I think they felt like I had something there.
For sure. For sure.
So they encouraged me to go be a GA. So first of all, I didn't want to coach. And then I'm like, y'all want me to coach and still go to school?
I get my masters. Yeah. Yeah.
You know, and I ain't thinking big picture. They thinking big
They
picture.
is, they is.
For me,
Yeah,
like
right.
this might be something that's good for you. So I do it. I went to Furman University in Greenville, and I really loved it. Like I fell in love with it immediately because I felt like I was giving back.
And who
to
was the head
game.
coach at Furman at the time?
A guy named Larry Davis. Larry Davis, who's not coaching now, he was an assistant coach for Clem Haskins at Minnesota. When they had Bobby Jackson and all those.
Yeah,
dudes.
yeah, they
So
were
really, really good.
Yeah, they was
Nice.
real good.
Yeah.
Nice. Bobby used to wear them hot socks.
Yeah, he used to
Yeah.
wear the hot socks. So I worked there for a year as a GA and kind of cut my teeth. I'm doing laundry. I go from being a starting point guard at South Carolina,
Doing somebody's
man.
laundry.
It's 18,000 showing
Where
up.
we
People
from?
got
Where
my
we from?
T-shirt on.
Yeah.
and-
Doing that.
$1,000 a month, maybe.
Man,
Yeah.
nah,
You won't
zero.
get nothing. Just
Zero.
paying for your school,
They
room
gave-
and board.
They gave me a meal plan so I
need-
could eat at the cafeteria. And it was a alumni who had an apartment, and he let me stay in his basement.
I got you.
Dude, listen, this is funny now because people watch stuff on their phones. The only thing I had was a portable DVD player
Hating life every day.
every day, man.
Got
So I
you.
stayed at the office, watch TV, I do laundry, I cut film. I used to have to walk the coach's dogs and pick up lunch. And I'm like, man, like, this is not life.
Yeah. So how many years did you GA for?
So I was fortunate, man. Like, I took pride in everything I did. So I earned their respect. And then the next year, a guy named Buzz Peterson. Buzz, actually was a
yeah,
coach
with
at
TU.
Tulsa.
Yeah, for sure.
He left here, went to Tennessee, where he gets fired at Tennessee in 05. And then he gets the job at Coastal Carolina.
Yeah.
In Myrtle Beach. And so not Myrtle Beach, since a guy he knows it's Conway, but everybody say Myrtle Beach.
Yeah.
But,
Okay.
I worked there for him as an assistant coach. I got my first assistant coaching job in 2005. I worked there for 2 years, and then he actually left to go to the league, the NBA. MJ's his best friend.
Yeah. They was roommates in North Carolina.
Yeah,
Best man is West.
He's actually the assistant GM for the Hornets now.
Oh,
Buzz
I didn't
is.
know that.
Yeah.
Okay.
yeah.
Okay.
But I didn't know the business of coaching still. This is my kind of first foray into this deal.
Exactly.
So he bounced. Usually you go with your guy.
Yeah. You waiting on the phone call.
Ain't no job in the league for
Yeah.
a 23-year-old dude who barely know, like,
Yeah, for sure.
ain't no job. So now I got to decide, am I going to try to stay with the new coach they hire or move? So I moved. I went to Wofford.
Okay.
Wofford College. In
Head
Spartanburg,
coach called
South
you?
Carolina. Yep, Mike Young, who's now the head coach of Virginia Tech.
Yep,
Really,
okay.
really good dude.
Yeah.
I was there for a year. The year I was there, Steph Curry was a sophomore at Davidson.
Special.
So we're in the same conference. So when people saw his run in the NCAA tournament,
You already on it.
too many times.
Wow.
We played him 3 times that year.
And that scouting report is.
Man, bang my head against this microphone all day long. This is how arrogant coaches are, though. I tell a story all the time, and Mike Young and I laugh about it now. The first time we played him at our place. Earlier in the year, a team played a triangle and 2 on Steph.
And it goes for 40 probably.
He didn't score. They lost by 30. They had 2 deuce.
Oh,
His coach stood him in the corner. There were 2 people guarding him. It was the only game he didn't score in double figures in his career. So we're like, nah, we're not doing no gimmick. We just gonna guard this shit, man.
Yeah.
You got him.
Yeah, facts.
He ain't that good.
Yeah.
He had 25 and a half. Yeah, I said the same thing. So we play him at their place a couple weeks later. We're like, all right, we're going to double team him some.
Yeah.
So the first game, he finished with 44. The second game, he finished with 39.
We did better.
So now we get to the conference tournament, and this is the arrogant part of us. We got this. Like, he ain't about to beat us 3 times.
Yeah.
We stayed up till 2 o'clock in the morning. Like,
Game plan.
we was like, we going to shut him down.
Uh-huh.
He had 37 and didn't play for the last 6 minutes of the game.
What?
So we laugh because fast forward 10 years, like the dude's the best player in the world. Like he's winning world championships.
Yeah.
So we would call each other during the playoffs like, how stupid.
Yeah.
Like Greg Popovich ain't figuring it out. We think we had it.
Yeah,
figured out.
fact.
You know what I mean?
Fact.
But he makes that run with Davidson and we just laughing like this dude's good. The craziest part about the story though is the next year, Steph comes back to school for his junior year.
Yep.
I leave Wofford after that year and go to South Carolina where I played.
And who was the head coach there?
A guy named Darren Horn.
Darren
He
Horn,
coached
okay.
at Western Kentucky, took them to the Sweet 16,
Okay.
got the South Carolina job. So I'm an assistant with him. We had a really good year, but we missed the tournament. So we went to the NIT. And I'll be damned if Davidson don't lose their conference tournament championship game. So they go to the NIT.
You had to play.
And we playing Davidson the first round.
How'd that
So
go?
first of all, like my guys are already not really feeling playing in the NIT.
Exactly.
And now we're going to play this guy. We're going to play this team that they don't really know that much about. It's a lower level school. They're like, all right, we about to mop the floor with them, move on, make this run to New York for the NIT. All right, if we're going to do it, all right, cool. And I'm sitting there like, listen, man. I can't tell y'all this.
But
I can't tell y'all he the best dude in the gym, but he's really good. I'm just telling you. And I got my guys looking at me like, come on, man. Like, he played in that league. He ain't playing in the SEC. Man, he had 44 again. And our season was like, so I'm 0 for 4 against Steph.
I got
in a
you.
bad way. He averaging like 40 against me.
I got you.
So I tell people all the time when they ask, yo, you ever want to coach in the league? And I say, not as long as Steph is.
You ain't gonna win.
Man, I
Exactly.
get nightmares thinking about coaching against that dude,
for
man.
sure. For sure.
A little light-skinned 175 pound behind running out there
Just
making
shoot
shots.
it. For sure.
Now I got a 9-year-old son, and it's his second favorite player behind Cade. Every time we go in the gym, he talking about he want to shoot shots from 30 feet.
Yeah.
Change the game.
Yeah. So
the game.
that was my path to that point. I get to South Carolina, and after 4 years, you know, we didn't get the job done. We got let go. And humbling experience because I had just got married. My wife actually was pregnant when we lost our job. And so here I am sitting here as a raggedy Negro without a job and a pregnant wife at home trying to figure out
Facts.
who
What's
this man
next?
going to take care of, you know, her child. And so we thug it out for a year. We kind of consolidate. We carpooling because I took an administrative position in the athletic department there with Frank Martin, who was at K-State.
He's at
Go.
UMass now.
He's at UMass now, yep.
Every time I hear him talk, I want to hoop for that dude.
Yeah, nah, he passionate, man.
Yeah.
Passionate dude. Really, really good dude. So we stayed there for a year, and then Brad Underwood actually was on Frank's staff as an assistant coach.
Okay.
That's how I met Brad. Was staying on for a year. He gets this job at Stephen F. Austin a year later.
Right.
And he asked me to go with him as an assistant. I go. We have wild success. And then he gets this job at OSU. And I'm thinking, all right, I've been doing this now 12 years. Like, it's time to step up to the plate. Like, the homie about to call me and say, you're going to be the next head coach. I went through the process, 2 weeks. He hired somebody else.
At Stephen F. Austin.
At Stephen F. Austin. This was in 2016.
Did you have confidence, like, after your interview? Like, oh, yeah, the job.
I probably had too much confidence. I probably was kind of arrogant about it.
Got
Like he owed it to me.
I got
Like
you.
we built a real powerhouse. I mean, we lost one game in conference. We were 59-1.
So you just knew the job was yours.
That's the way it worked. in my mind.
Yeah, for sure, for
Was
sure.
you
know?
the lead assistant?
Yeah,
bro?
top assistant, scout, recruiting, the whole deal. You know what I'm saying? And so I felt like I ain't really have to prepare. He know who I am.
Yeah,
I've been interviewing for 3 years for you, bro. Like
facts.
So
all the
this was
kids like me and everything.
2016.
It's 2016.
So I'm gonna give you a date, March 24th, 2017.
Yeah, amazing transition, right? Because I got turned down for the job at Stephen F. Austin on March 27th of 2016.
Okay.
So almost a full 1 year later, I was named the head coach at Oklahoma State.
And how did that day go?
Like
for you?
it was crazy, just the whole process, man. Like
You remember where you was at?
I
and
remember
everything.
everything about it because we lost an NCAA tournament in the first round. Brad leaves the next day. It's wild, crazy. Like around Stillwater, AD on the fire. They want to know what's going on. Board of Regents mad. Everybody pissed off, like because they felt like he was the guy about to resurrect this thing. And so the AD comes in my office a couple days later, and he asks a question. He says, "Hey, do you think you can do this job?" Randomly. And I'm thinking in my mind, like, man, come on, I don't have time for this, man. I gotta find a job, Like,
Yeah, right, that's fine.
I just went through this last year, man.
You ain't finna hire me.
Yeah, come on, like, just you ain't got to do that.
Yeah.
I appreciate it. But, go ahead, man.
Yeah, facts.
But I say, yeah, I can do the job, but kind of like blowing it off, like, and then 2 days later, he says, well, I think you should interview. I'm like, maybe he's serious. So now I prepare this time. I do a better job making sure my stuff is tight, resume, here's how I'm gonna run the program, all that stuff. And by that Friday, man, I was named the head coach. Like, it was crazy.
And where was you at? Like when you got that phone, was you in the office?
Yeah, so
Was
he
you-
called me into his office. I interviewed on a Thursday. I went back Friday morning, and he called me back by Friday around lunch. He offered me the job. Obviously, I was like elated. It happened so fast, man. Like so fast that I didn't even have a chance to tell my wife. My wife found out on social media.
No.
Yeah, it was bad. I'm still paying for it, bro.
Wow. Yeah, that'll hurt. That'll hurt. That'll hurt. That'll hurt.
So he calls me into his office. He offered me the job. I accept. He like, hey, we need to get you to our sports information office so we can get a quote for our release and all that stuff because we want to get the media, that part of it going. Then they call me back like, hey, we need to get the players on the team. We got to let them know before this gets out. Between all that, I forgot to pick up the phone and say, hey, this was about to go down. So it gets out.
What?
And so, it was good, right? Because it worked out, and it was obviously a positive thing. and stuff
Yeah,
like
for
that.
sure.
Instead of something
You know what I'm
negative.
saying?
Yeah,
For sure.
But it was dope, man, to feel like, the work that I put in, but also the support that I've had from so many people. Obviously, a great opportunity to go out and do something special at a place like OSU was cool.
And I wanted to ask you because you said important people. Like in the game, we all have mentors who we look up to. Who are some of your mentors who help you in situations like that? When you got that head job, like, hey, how do I do this? How do I do this? Some of the mentors that are important to you.
So it starts with my parents.
For sure.
You know what I mean,
for
like
sure.
my mom and dad, they was rock solid, man. They pushed me, they challenged me. We were so poor, and I had no idea.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? Like
facts. You
we
thought
didn't
you was
have
rich.
nothing.
Yeah.
I had a strong family. You know what I mean? Like that's the best way to be poor is not knowing it.
Facts. Facts. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like we had love. Like we had what we needed. We had no extra.
Gotcha.
We wasn't doing no big nothing, no Christmas,
yeah,
nothing like that.
yeah.
It was
Yeah.
what thing do you want?
Exactly.
One thing.
Yeah,
You know what I
fact.
mean?
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
So them, my high school coaches, the guys that I played for in college, and then the people I work for, like with throughout my time. Mike Young, Brad, Frank. They was all really, really heavily influential on how I think about running the program, taking care of our players, being involved in the community, stuff
Facts.
like that.
Yeah, for sure. And do you ever catch yourself just like, man, I'm the head coach? You know what I mean? Like driving, like coming to Tulsa to go watch your son practice or whatever it is. Do you ever just catch yourself like, man?
Every now and then, that'll hit me. A lot of times it's during a game because I know like this is happening. Like
Yeah.
I'm down here on this floor, and what happens? Like
It's on Mike Boynton. Yeah, nobody
yeah,
else.
yeah.
He's a kid from Brooklyn.
And I embrace it because I'm a competitor. Like I'm driven by competition. It's the thing that drives me the most. But I also understand there's a lot of eyeballs that are judging or criticizing or supporting or whatever it is. And it's weird sometimes, though, because so many people feel like they know me. No, they don't know me, but they feel like they know me.
Yeah, for sure.
When I'm with my kid over here, can take a picture or whatever, and my son be looking at me like,
who are you? Yeah.
What is this, man? Why these people want to take a picture with you? You're a regular dude, man.
For sure.
Mommy was just yelling at you for not flushing the toilet.
You take the trash out.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
And sometimes it's coaching, because me and my brother was a coach. The biggest thing that I had with my boys when he was playing football in high school, I was coaching at a different school. I was coaching at Broken Arrow, and he was coaching at playing at Booker T football.
Right.
So at halftime, I would run in, and the first thing I do is I check my phone.
Right.
From the mom texting me, see how he was doing in the game.
Yeah.
What's like a situation as being a head coach, like being away from your kids,
your
family?
Yeah. I mean, that's the hardest part of the job. Is just that time away, especially at this age. My son is really getting into sports, been having to miss stuff with him because he wants me to be there. My pops was there for me. I know how impactful that was for me, but it's also the nature of what I've chosen to do for a profession. It's a fulfilling deal, rewarding because I can help so many other kids, but sometimes it's at the expense of the experiences I can have with my own. So I got to be really conscious and intentional about, some days I got two phones. Really, one is for personal family and one is more for work. Sometimes I leave that work phone in my car when I get home so that I could really be engaged. Because if it's at, my wife is on me all the time. If it's at the dinner table, I'm going to pick it up. I may not. It's just a kind of a subconscious deal. Right. We're so used to just scrolling or looking or checking it.
Yeah.
You got to.
So if it's there, like, you're going to reach for it.
Sometimes
you got to just unplug, turn it off, leave it behind, and really just engage yourself with the family.
After games, will your dad or mom still text you or call you like, hey, you got to do this?
Yeah, for sure. I got 4 sisters, no brothers, and I think that's part of the reason I gravitated to sports. Like, it was a way for me to connect with other male people who were doing things that I enjoyed or whatever. So, but we got a family text. I'm sure, like everybody.
Yeah, for sure.
And they're always watching. They don't come down as often as I would like or would want them to. My sisters all have kids and families and jobs and all that stuff. So but we definitely have great support, and that started from when we were real young.
Yeah, for sure. All right, we're going to take a quick break real quick. Got Mike Boynton, OSU head basketball coach. We'll be right back. This episode is brought to you by O'Reilly's Auto Parts. Find the right auto parts, tools, and supplies for your vehicle at O'Reilly's. Anytime you need parts for your car, visit 4734 North Peoria Ave in Tulsa, Oklahoma. The store hours are Monday through Saturday, 7:30 a.m. to 8 p.m., and Sunday, 9 a.m. to 7 p.m. For your better parts, better prices, visit O'Reilly's Auto Parts.
This episode is brought to you by thefanstop.com and a college t-shirt club. Get new and officially licensed t-shirts, long sleeves, and hoodies delivered to your doorstep monthly from your favorite colleges. Their shirts are super soft. They offer clubs from all around Oklahoma, especially Division I schools, including OU, OSU, and Tulsa, and Arkansas. They also offer over 30 others, mostly Power 5 schools. Be sure to check out all options at thefanstop.com. Fanstop.com is based out of Oklahoma. Go to thefanstop.com and use the promo code T-Town and get 15% off for the first 6 months.
This episode is brought to you by the Smith Family Agency. It's simple. They make sure you have the right insurance coverage on your home, auto, or business. They also have the best prices for insurance in Oklahoma. Call my guy Brian Smith with questions, and he will give you a quick quote. We trust him to always do the right thing for you and your family. Call Smith Family Agency at 918-417-7400 and tell them the Bubby sent you. Back off the break. Get back to it.
Okay, so a situation happened. It happened before you. Before any of the kids was there, they put you on, the NCAA put you guys on probation. You guys can't make the tournament. How do you really feel about that situation?
I mean, it was hard. It was probably the hardest thing I had gone through, or I've gone through as a head coach, or really a coach at any point in my career, because you really stripped away, like, that's what college basketball is about at the end of the day. Like, I get, like, Bedlam's a big deal. Ain't nothing like playing in a tournament, man. Facts. There's no environment. You see it, right? St. Peter's is St. Peter's because of what they did in March. Like, history is made. People, legends are born. Like, Christian Laettner is who he is because of the shot against Kentucky, and he flamed out as an NBA player. People will still remember him.
That's a
as
fact.
A,
He still plays to this day. That's
right. Steph Curry in the run. We talked about that earlier, but not giving kids the opportunity to play in that event. First of all, was wrong because you're punishing people for something that they had nothing to do with all the way around. Right. Matter of fact, one of my players was in 7th grade when the thing even happened. So you dragged your feet for 5 years and then deal out a punishment that's unfit for what happened. So I was really disappointed in them. I was disappointed in the leadership. I think they showed a lack of courage for just standing up and doing the right things because they wanted to make a point. And when you're dealing with kids, you don't do things to spite. Right. You know what I mean? Adults. You do the right thing. You give them opportunities that they should have, that they deserve. As an adult, I was disappointed because I thought the adults acted worse than sometimes the kids do.
Gotcha.
And when you on the road recruiting, talking to some of the young kids, what are 3 things that Mike Boynton and his OSU staff look for in kids? Like when you walk in the gym with your cup of coffee, 8 o'clock in the morning, what are some things that you're looking for in a young kid?
It's so much deeper than the athletic ability, right? So, but you have to be talented enough.
For sure.
So let's take the basketball part. You have to be able to shoot, jump, run, right? It's hard to play if you got one leg. You know what I mean? Like, so there's some physical things, but it's more just their makeup, right? Do they really care about the game?
Facts.
And many kids these days, they don't really have a passion for playing. They don't really love playing.
And you could tell that because you've been in the game so long, just by watching the kids.
Yeah, it's something. It's a hobby. To do it at our level, you got to kind of be borderline obsessed. Bryce Thompson is obsessed with basketball.
Yeah, been obsessed.
Like,
that's a fact.
That's what's going to give him a chance to continue on playing this game and make money playing this game.
He lives in the gym.
He loves it. He doesn't want to do anything else. He will, but his first priority is hoops.
Yeah, for sure.
So that passion, do you want to get better? Do you have a desire to be coached? Because, again, young guys now feel like if they watch the highlights, they can do the things that they see on the highlights.
Yeah.
But that ain't real. You forgot that you didn't watch KD or Kyrie or Steph practice that move
exactly
1,000 times. And then, the last thing I would say is just competitiveness. Like, do you want to win? Like, winning has to be a part of this equation, man. Because that every game, one or two things happen.
You win
or you lose, man.
Yeah.
And if those are the options,
exactly.
I don't care who it is on the other side. I want to win. Exactly. My 6-year-old daughter wanted to play tennis yesterday. Well, she better get better.
you try to win.
I want to win.
Yeah.
If winning or losing on the table, give me winning.
That's true.
True.
So has it, while you're recruiting, have you ever stopped recruiting a kid because of a parent?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Behavior,
attitude. Sometimes when you talk to them, the things that they mention being important to them, so their values. And I get it. Everybody wants their kid to make it. Still a team sport. So, no, I'm not about to promise you your son going to start and play 40 minutes a game and get to shoot every shot and not get taken out when he turns the ball over or fouls.
Exactly.
Like, there's some give and take. There has to be accepting of the accountability on the kid's part to be coached, to get better. I tell parents all the time, you can't manipulate your way to the top of this game. You can only work there.
Facts.
And if the more you try to manipulate it, the more you get off track.
You might get away with it a little bit in high school.
Earlier,
yeah,
like the younger, and mostly it's because your kid's most of the time the best guy, right? So, but as you get up, the talent pool kind of shrinks. Everybody's good.
Exactly.
And if you don't develop those habits, you're not going to be a good pro anyway. Because you're going to get there and not figure out how to play with some of the best guys in the world. And you'll get exposed so quick in that league because they're all smart players. So you look crazy when you're doing stuff that don't make sense.
Right. And when you're recruiting kids now, and you say, like the parents, but the conversation is different now because we have the NIL. We have, the transfer portal.
Sure.
You know what I mean? You got parents, hey, my son want an NIL. Or
sure.
How do you feel about the NIL?
It's interesting, man, because I'm not one of these dudes that's like NIL is the worst thing to happen. I think it should be a useful tool.
For dang sure.
But the premise is you have value as a person. And so that value comes from doing something.
Man,
You
gotta
right.
prove it first.
Yeah,
Fact,
I agree.
So
Totally agree.
the conversation on the front end about NIL don't make a whole lot of sense to me.
Exactly. Come here. Come get Big 12 Freshman of the Year.
Sure.
Something like that.
Somebody going to want to associate themselves with you.
Exactly. Let's come have this meeting.
Yeah.
I got you.
So I'm all for it. I say it like this. I was a net negative for the University of South Carolina from a financial standpoint. I got all the benefit of being a student athlete there. I got a college degree. I met great people. I traveled. I had great health insurance. I'm here where I am because of my experience there. And all they got out of it was they can say the coach at Oklahoma State went to school there.
Exactly. Facts.
That's it.
Facts.
They didn't make no money off me.
Facts.
That school didn't get rich because I played basketball for them.
Got you.
You know, we did some cool things. We went to the tournament, you know, but it was an opportunity that I wanted. There are some kids. I coached one, right? Kay would have had tremendous value as a college basketball player last year.
How special was him? Like, when did you know?
Listen.
When did you know?
Well,
Be real.
I'll be
Coach.
honest. I knew. I saw him at 14 years old for the first time. He was a ninth grader.
Where you see him at?
I saw him in high school.
I know,
High school
where-
workout.
Did somebody call you like, hey, you gotta come?
No. I wasn't even going to see K. This is a great lesson for young people. I was going to see a kid named Kyler Edwards.
I know that Texas Tech.
Kyler went to Texas Tech and then he played at Houston this past year.
Yeah,
Right, okay,
yeah.
okay.
So I went to see Kyler. Kyler was a junior. So I went this September his junior year to watch him. I had recruited him that summer. And the coach at Arlington Bowie, which is where they went to school, said, hey, tell me what you think about this other kid.
Talking about K.
He's talking about K. I didn't know K, though. So I'm watching him. He like 6'5", got a decent little body. He got really good feel. But I'm thinking the coach told me because he was a senior and maybe he wanted to try to see if he can get some looks for him.
I got you.
So I asked him afterwards. I say, so, you know, what's his recruitment like? You know, like what's the problem? He looks like a good player.
Yeah.
He's like, nothing wrong. I said, well, you know, does he want to go to JUCO? Or? He's like, no, he's 14. And I was like, hold on a second. That kid's 14 years
And
old?
you was the assistant coach at
I was an
OSU.
assistant coach at OSU.
Okay.
So I say, listen, I'm going to talk to Kyler, but I need you to hold that kid for about 5 minutes. Don't let him leave.
Yeah, fact.
So I talked to Kyler Edwards. This is a true story. I talked to Kyler Edwards. I went over and shook Kay's hand. He looked me right in the eye. I said, thank you. We offered him a scholarship. I did. Brad didn't even know who that was.
You didn't know. Did you call him and tell him?
No, I didn't call him, man. I said, I'm going to take this one.
I got you. Yeah.
But the next day I get back to the office and he like, hey, hurry, offer some freshman kid. I was like, just trust me. That's all I said.
Got
He
you.
was special then.
And you knew.
He did things that you just don't see 14-year-olds do.
Got you.
He would get a rebound. He'd look up the floor. He would pass the ball. Like, kids don't do that. They
Pass it up.
Something
Man.
simple. It sounds simple, right?
No,
But it sounds simple.
look, kick it ahead.
You'll
Pass
get it
the
back
ball.
if you run the
Yeah,
floor.
yeah, exactly.
Pass the ball.
Facts. Facts. That's just kick it ahead.
Rebound. He wouldn't force it through traffic. He'd kick it out to his teammate. He was comfortable, like, getting other people involved. And you just don't see that with young kids, especially when a college coach walk in the gym.
For sure.
They know
Trying to
we
do
in
too
there with a
much.
logo on. Like, they trying to impress. Like, he was so comfortable in his own skin. But when I really thought he turned the corner in my mind, his junior year, Cole Anthony was the #1 player in the country a year ahead of him.
Right.
They played against each other up in, it was in Massachusetts. And they were talking about, you know, Cole this, Cole that, and Kay's not a point guard. Cade picked up Cole Anthony,
94.
full court,
You was at the
For a
game or you
whole
watched
game.
it
I was
online?
there.
Okay.
for a whole game and got busy. Cole had 2 points. K had 25. When they left there, I was like, that kid's the best player in the country now
As a junior.
as a junior.
Got you. You knew.
People were slow at the wheel on him, though.
Yeah, for sure. No, I know you. You
was in there early, man.
You was in there early because we used to hear the stories. And
But the other part of it, like, you don't know what a kid's really like
Exactly.
until you coach him.
exactly.
So I was a little bit worried, like, coming in because I'd seen it. Anthony Edwards went to Georgia. They won 8 games.
Yeah.
That dude looked like one of the
Man.
top 20 players in the NBA already 2 years later.
Facts.
Ben Simmons at LSU didn't make the tournament. Markelle Fultz, like, it
Yeah,
didn't
yeah.
work with guys going off the radar. So
got
maybe he coming here with a bad attitude, and he was the best teammate, man.
I got you.
We had 97 practices that year because of the pandemic. The season was a little shorter. And we chart this. The guys don't always know it. But he was 97 for 97 and being the last person to leave the gym.
Wow.
So I kept trying to figure out how the other guys couldn't pick up on this. because everybody knew he was the best guy. So you tell me we know he's better than, and he work harder.
Yeah, nobody else is. I got you.
But y'all all say y'all want to go. Well, we know he going.
Yeah, for sure.
But nobody gonna try to match his level.
I got you.
Yeah.
I'm
gonna
gonna
beat
beat
him into the gym.
Yeah.
He gonna leave
Every
before
day.
me.
He was intentional about it. He was coachable. Sometimes people say he was too unselfish.
Yeah.
But he was comfortable allowing others to have success around him, man. Like, that's what makes great
LeBron
people
James.
great, you know?
Yeah. So let's talk about this real quick and kind of how we met. I'm gonna talk about a 918 kid. We talked about him early. Kind of how we met you. I think we was in Atlanta.
He was in Atlanta.
Me and bro in the gym, hoorah, we getting after the refs, talking crazy.
Doing
How
what
we
you do.
doing what we do, and we gonna be the loudest one in the gym. But every time Bryce Thompson played, I see Mike Boynton at the game, locked in, not on your phone, texting, locked in, watching him. When did you know, and how did it feel when you got him this year?
Man, so Bryce was obviously even more important for me to recruit
Hometown.
than Cade.
Facts.
And Cade, again, just to his credit, when he committed and wanted to help get Bryce.
Yeah,
Bryce committed afterwards.
He did.
And it was really important to me to value the relationship that I had with him and his family. And I didn't want to make it a deal where people in his state, his hometown, would try to knock him for making a choice he thought was good for him at the time. But I always, we got a relationship with Rod because he around. Like, I'm around always. And so we watched, and when he felt like, he wanted to make a change, we were certainly open to wanting to bring him back. I think there was more hesitation on his side than even ours, about, how's it going to look?
Yeah, exactly.
If I do this, and I'm like, bro, listen, I got that part.
Yeah, for sure.
If this is what you want to do, we're going to figure it out. And so I just felt good because I knew the type of worker he was.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm about.
Yeah.
Like, everything I'm about is about working to get what you want, And so I knew he would put the work in and earn the respect in the locker room. And I knew he was good enough to help us on the court. And looking forward to having an opportunity to coach him again.
For sure. For sure.
Yeah, that's crazy because that's how we met. I'll never forget. I think we left. We went to the hotel or something. Maybe a day later, you hit us up on Twitter, shot like, "Hey, let's keep in touch." For
sure.
We've been locked in ever
No doubt.
since.
No doubt.
Appreciate that. So let's Mike Boynton as the head coach, and you've been played with some great players, had some great mentors. You're the head coach. Remind you, you're the head coach.
All right.
Give me 5 that you all time that if Mike Boynton can coach, who would it be?
Who's your 1? Who's your 2? Who's your 3? Who's your 4? And you got to name a 6 man.
I gotta have a 6-man too.
A 6-man, okay.
Yeah.
So the light-skinned dude might come in now. But I'm taking Shaq.
Okay.
Shaq's the most dominant.
And nobody you've coached, so no, you can't have Cade.
Okay, that's cool.
Okay.
Shaq is the most dominating player I've ever seen. Now, I didn't see Wilt. I didn't really watch Kareem. I was too young. So I never seen nothing like Shaq. A 7-foot, 320-pound dude that can move like he moves. So he got to be the guy down there. Garnett has always been one of my favorite players, so he's going to be at the 4 for me. Probably then going to go with MJ and Kobe on the wings. And my point guard's going to be Magic. My 6-man's going to be Steph.
Gonna be Steph cut off the bench.
Yeah.
Got you. That's
So, no LeBron.
I got Magic.
So if we go 7, you got Braun.
If we go 7, I'll probably get Bron. But it ain't for sure that I wouldn't. I mean, but he's not my 5. Like, he's
For real.
he's an all-time great. Like,
Yeah.
I got mad respect for Bron.
Okay. So
But,
now you
but-
still a coach, right?
Yeah.
You down 1.
Down 1.
7 seconds left.
All right.
You
Steph
call a
is on the bench.
Steph's still on the bench. You call a timeout. Who you drawing the play up for?
Oh, MJ. This is really not much of a debate for me about this thing. Like, ain't no conversation to me on the GOAT talk. Like,
At all.
I respect the hell out of Bron.
Yeah.
Like, we've never seen anything like him in NBA.
At all.
But the competitor that MJ was, man, I just
My uncle
and again, how about this? I was a Knicks fan. I still am. He crushed my soul many a day.
Yeah,
Like
for sure.
sent me as a 12-year-old boy
Yeah.
to bed crying,
Yeah,
man.
facts,
Like,
facts.
but I respected that. That dude wanted to win every game.
My Uncle Wayman, I don't know where they was at, but he said he used to hold up the plane. Like, hold on, we gonna bet we gonna play in the gym.
Oh, he gonna play.
Yeah.
Hold on, they used to
I
hold
worked
the plane.
I worked at his flight school when I was 17 out in Santa Barbara. He have a camp. He have like 1,200 kids come, and a lot of it's like celebrity kids and whatever. But like he shows up every day, and he plays somebody one-on-one.
Got to get it in. I know Bud
get it in.
Peterson has some stories for you.
Oh my gosh, unbelievable!
I believe it.
But he talks. They talk about how they play golf and gamble all the time on the
I
golf
got
course.
you.
I ain't really a golfer.
Yeah,
so.
yeah, I got you.
But the most craziest thing I ever saw MJ do was two things. First of all, we would play counselor games, and it was me and a bunch of other high school to college level guys that were counselors for the kids at camp. And Gilbert Arenas and Jay Williams were on a team against MJ, and he took turns torching them. Gilbert Arenas is on his way to Arizona, and Jay Williams is on his way to Duke. Like they're going to those schools. And so Jay Williams starts talking all this smack about how a rival. And MJ says, "Man, I won't say this because it's going to be on air, but basically, Duke wasn't my rival, so I'm not giving you the light of day.
What?
Like we're not talking about. There was no Duke Carolina when I was in school.
Wow.
NC State was a rival, I guess.
Yeah,
They were so shut that down. And then he played this little 6-year-old kid one-on-one one day.
Goes full speed.
Bro, they playing to 3. He gives the kid the ball first. The kid goes by him. He pins the ball on the backboard. He has the kid check up the ball. He does one of his ball fakes. He goes by and dunks on the kid. The kid is crying. Real tears.
What?
He looks at the kid and says, "Hey, is your mom here?" Basically, take your crying ass out. If you're going to cry, get out.
What?
Like, ruthless, man. This dude probably paid $1,500 to come. All he wanted to do is see his idol.
You and his idol. Yeah.
That kid probably an acting star or something now. He got this little 6-year-old boy, man, in real tears because MJ won't even let him think about scoring.
Yeah.
You got any Kobe Bryant stories?
Nah, well, I don't have any personally, but the best one I heard is so Wayne Ellington, Joe Henderson. They both they grew up together.
Duke in North
Jersey
Carolina.
dudes, right.
Yeah.
So they talk about how when they got to the league, they worked out with him. Gerald Henderson tells a story that they're in Charlotte one year. This is the craziest basketball story I ever heard in my life. Kobe's out shooting in pregame warm-ups. He's shooting free throws, and he misses 2 shots. And he asked, because they're in Charlotte, he asked Gerald Henderson, "Hey, anybody around that works on the goals?" He says, "Yeah, the guy up there." So he calls the guy down. It says, "Hey, man, that rim is 1/4 of an inch off."
What?
And everybody looking at him like, come on, man. Like,
yeah.
It's all right. Like, you get to miss too.
Yeah.
Fact. He's like, "Man, listen, that rim is 1/4 of an inch off." And I'll be damned. They came
was
down
off.
and measured it, and it was 1/4 of an inch off.
Wow.
Like, true story.
That's crazy.
He says he was like, he knew everything about how his shot came off his hand, where it hit. And he's like, "Nah, that's not right. I can't even see 1/4 of an inch. I don't even know what that looks like. From 10 feet away and 10 feet up, like, I even know, but he knew, and it was dead on accurate. They fixed the rim."
Yeah. So give me 3 kids, 3 players. You talked about Steph earlier, so you can't name Steph, that you done seen on your scouting report, you coached against, you seen just, as a coach watching on TV, like, them dudes is pros. Nobody that you coached before, but a scouting report or something that you knew, like Steph Curry, like, man, them dudes is pros, and that you knew was going to be successful at the next level. If you can name 3.
So I coached against my man he went to Boston College, and now I'm drawing a blank on his name that you said that. But he played at Boston College. He was with the Pistons for a minute. Oh, man, little guard. I'll try to come back to it. But when I coached against Trey, like, Trey was different. Young. Yeah. And, I'm giving love to the other side. But, but that's what it is. Like, when you at that level, you respect it. Like, the dude had 48 against us.
At OSU.
At our place.
I remember that.
And did you know that when he was in high school? Like, man, Trey.
I knew when he was in college. Like, I didn't know he was so small. But you talk about irrational confidence.
Still got it.
Yes. Like, it doesn't matter who's on the court. Trey Young thinks he's the best dude.
Yeah.
It don't matter.
Facts.
Kobe, Kyrie, LeBron.
Facts.
He think he the best dude out there.
Facts. So you knew it in college.
He took 39 shots against us, man.
Man, I remember that.
You gotta have some.
You gotta have some.
Because the heat's coming for you.
Facts.
And he wanted all of it.
He rise to the occasion. When you talk, just like I did in New York, like when you talk, he gonna take it to another level.
So we played him in Norman the first time, and again, this kind of goes to the arrogance. I had told my staff, you know what? We need to really just let him score. Because if he also gets everybody else involved,
trouble.
we got a problem. Like Mannix hitting threes, and they had the dude that they were throwing lobs to that year. I can't remember his name. And Christian James, like they were rolling. They were up to like 4 in the country at one point that year.
Facts, they was.
And I couldn't convince myself to let a dude just get 50 on me.
Yeah.
Because if you just let him, like, yo, you got him by yourself, no help,
You got 50.
he getting 50.
Facts.
50.
But he had 25 points and 15 assists. That's worse.
Yeah, you're
and
right.
we lost. Right. So we came to Stillwater, and we let him go. He shot 39 times, man. And almost beat us by himself.
Gotcha.
And he had 48.
That's the game that 918 kid Mitch dove on the floor for that ball.
Yeah, dove on the floor for the ball. Kendall Smith, grad transfer, made a shot to send it overtime. But that was a big-time game for us, man.
Okay, you say Trey. Give me 2 more that you
Let's
knew.
see. Some other guys that I knew for sure. Jared Allen. He was another one. I saw Jared
Texas,
Allen.
right? You went to
Yeah,
Texas.
so when I got to Stephen F. Austin, it was the first time I've been in Texas. And I saw him in like a Gasso or something one weekend, and like he was just a clumsy dude. But he was 7 feet. He had crazy long arms, and he didn't say boo.
Nothing.
He just went out there and blocked every shot. He tip dunked. He could make free throws. I'm always, if a big guy can shoot free throws, that's a whole nother level of advantage.
Caleb Boone.
Yeah, yeah. And so I knew he was going to make it. And the other one's probably a Texas kid too. But no, I'll go. Anthony Edwards was one. I saw Ant Edwards as a freshman in high school.
I seen him.
I thought I was watching Michael Finley.
Man.
No, I seen him in New York. I was with PWP. Rod let me go up there with him. And Bryce is a freshman, so he had to be a sophomore, I think.
Yep.
And I called my brother. It was like, hey, it's a dude to play for Atlanta Express that is a pro.
Problem.
And a kid had put me on him that was on the PWP team, Cameron Dennis. He was just like,
Yeah, Cam Dennis.
you don't know. And he said something to my brother when he went to Texas.
Yeah,
like,
we go to Dallas. I'm like, man.
my brother wasn't
I
with
didn't
us.
know.
Yeah.
He said, that's Ant-Man. You don't know him? I say, then you know me. We in the gym. I'm like,
We watching.
ooh.
Yeah.
Yeah, he nice, special.
Him and
Yeah, but
RJ
it's-
Hampton was the two. I'm like, okay.
It's been a handful of guys. I saw Tyrese Maxey when he was young, and I knew he was going to have a chance to get to it too.
Yeah.
He just had a different kind of aggression to him. De'Aaron Fox, I never seen anybody faster.
Man, I heard that.
I think Trey's dad, Ray, told me. I think he did. I think he told me De'Aaron Fox. I think he did.
That same tournament, I saw Jared Allen at. I saw him. And when they told me he was a young pup, I was like,
Nah.
whew. I never saw nobody. And I grew up around some fast guards. He was like a one-man press. You couldn't stop him from getting to the lane. Crazy athletic. Like, impressive.
Got you.
Okay, being from Brooklyn. Before a game, you put them. I know you put your headphones on, listen to music.
Absolutely.
Jay-Z, is he your favorite rapper?
Alive, yes.
Give me your top 5 Jay-Z songs that you got to listen to.
Top 5. Brooklyn's Finest is definitely on there. His bars on that one is crazy. Renegade with Eminem. What more can I say? Yikes. 5, man. Let me think here. It's hard to pick 5. Let's see. Minority Report, heavy.
One more.
Let's see. Can't knock the hustle. I'll go with something smooth.
I got you. I got you. And
I try to touch multiple albums on
yeah,
there.
for sure.
Now, how old are you?
40, just turned 40 in January.
Dang. So how much longer do you think you'll be coaching?
I don't know, man. Like, the game is changing so fast. The one thing I don't want to do, I don't want to miss my kids' entire lives.
Man.
You know what I'm saying? and coaching can wear. We talked about that earlier. So, but for sure, I mean, I got some time still.
Yeah, for sure.
I don't want to put a number on it.
Yeah.
I don't want people out there assuming I'm trying to get
trying to get out.
But I am conscious of, right, you know, being healthy, and my kids will have kids. I want to still have my wits about me when I have grandchildren and stuff like that. So, you know.
And we appreciate you coming. Like I say, not too many times we can just call a head coach at a Power 5 school, and it wasn't like, win.
No
you
doubt.
know what I mean? We could do it this day.
That's love, man. I'm in Tulsa all the time, man, and I've always wanted to get over to the shop. So I appreciate y'all letting me come through.
For sure.
Appreciate
My
you,
boy
for
Duff
sure.
tells me good things about it. Rod, obviously, you know. So it's love, man. I appreciate the
And
opportunity.
before
to come
we
by.
get out of here, I want you to look into that camera and just tell the young people, just give them just a piece of advice.
Well, I would just say, like, take the pressure off. Enjoy life. Like, I think there's too much pressure on kids now to become a certain thing, not to become somebody. Like, it used to be like, what do you want to be? What do you want to do? And allow that kid to chase that dream. And obviously, I live in a space where if my kid don't get to the NBA, we put the pressure on him. Like, the kid feels like a failure. And like let kids be kids. You know, let them grow. Let them play multiple sports. Let them become who they want to be. And if they do that, but you got to do things with humility. Hard work's got to be a foundation of everything. It's the foundation of everything I do. And it, you know, we can't get away from our spirituality. You know, I'm a firm believer, heavy, and you know, I think at the end of the day, as long as we keep that at the center of our lives, everything else falls into place.
We appreciate you again. Really do. Real talk. And that's episode 5, Talk of the Town. Thank you.